What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to address a couple questions and a couple of statements that I hear a lot with dealing with clients or just people online in general. So basically, one of the things that I get a lot in asking people how they're doing with their diet or how they're eating and how it correlates to them not seeing any progress is oils, butters, and salad dressing. So typically, I think people don't really understand that while using olive oil, yes, you know, it's healthy to a certain extent, but once you start using too much, it becomes unhealthy, obviously. But there's also so many hidden calories in using things like olive oil, canola oil, coconut oil, butter, ranch dressing, full fat Italian dressing. There's a lot of calories in those things, and you know, a lot of times we don't really notice or pay attention to how much we're using, and it ends up being more than we really think. And so all of that adds up. And so if you're eating 2,000 calories in one day, and then you're sitting there using butter and oil on top of that for, let's say, 4 meals, I mean, you could be taking in an excess of like 1,000 extra calories a day. There's your weight loss in it of itself. So if you're doing what you're supposed to, eating right, working out, doing your cardio, whatever it may be, drinking a lot of water, you're doing all the right things except for A or B. So there's always, if I'll sit there and say, all right, so kind of walk me through your day. What are you eating? Morning, I'll have 3 eggs, a couple slices of bacon, and 1 piece of toast. Or for lunch, I'll have chicken with a salad. But see, the thing that's hidden, people never, ever say what they're using to cook, and they never say what they're using as dressing on their salad. And so when I ask more in detail, when I say, okay, so what are you cooking? And what are you cooking it with? It's always olive oil, butter. What are you putting on your salad? Well, olive oil, dressing. And so, like I said, that ends up adding up. And so I'm going to show you today how easy it is to make that mistake and go overboard with olive oils or just oil in general or dressing in general. Okay, so right here we have a pan right on the scale. So what we're going to do, we're going to make sure the scale's on. Maybe. There we go. And it's on 0 grams. Okay, so typically, I know what I would do is I would typically, if I was using olive oil or butter, I would try to do a nice drizzle to coat the pan. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to see how much we end up doing, how much we end up using. Okay, so there's that. And then a drizzle on the pan. Okay, that's 14 grams. So that's 1 tablespoon right there. 14 grams. See that? Okay. Is 1 serving. If it'll focus. Maybe. Okay. 1 serving, 14 grams, 1 tablespoon. Look how much fat is in that 1 tablespoon of olive oil. 14 grams of fat and 120 calories. Okay? So that right there is a lot of fat and a lot of extra calories. So 120 calories, and let's say you do that for 4 or 5 meals. That's already 480 to 600 calories extra that you're getting, not to mention the extra 56 grams of fat on top of that. Now, keep in mind, we used a small pan. So this pan right here, okay, is really small. Just to give you some perspective, it's about the size of a bowl. Okay, so imagine if you were to use a bigger cooking skillet like this. This is probably 2.5 times that. So let's say you drizzle on this and you use 2.5 times the amount of olive oil that I used right now. That would be roughly 35 to 40 grams of olive oil, right? 35 to 40 grams of fat of olive oil in one pan, and roughly 300 calories in one pan. So you do that 4 times a day, there goes 1,200 calories. You do it 5 times a day, there goes 1,500 calories. So it's tough. It's tough to say don't use it because a lot of people don't like to use PAM, which is what I use. So if you look in the pantry here, got this Great Value butter spray, okay, just like PAM. A lot of people don't like to use that because there's a lot of chemicals and things like that in there, and I understand that. And I don't tell everybody to use it, but if you're looking to see results, sometimes there's a sacrifice that has to be made. So if you're not willing to sacrifice the olive oil and butter, then you need to make sure that you're planning that accordingly. You need to make sure that you're accounting for the amount of calories, the amount of fat, and how much you're using into your diet. So if you have 2,000 calories like we talked about before, to not add on top of that, you need to make sure that you incorporate every serving of oil into your calorie limit for the day. So no matter how many calories that is, count it into your 2,000. So if you end up using 1,500 calories worth of olive oil, then you have 500 calories left for the rest of the day. And see, that's a diet record in and of itself. You get bored with your food, not a lot of food, you're going to be hungry, you're going to be starving, and that gets wrecked anyway, okay? So another option you can use is non-stick skillets, which is actually what this is. So I'm going to have to clean the olive oil out of that whenever we get done. So yeah, that's how that happens. And now let's go ahead and talk about the salad dressing portion of it, okay? So this time I have my bowl on here, okay? I'm going to set that to 0. Alright, and so what I have here is Bolthouse Farms Cucumber Ranch. Now this ranch, I have a couple bottles of that. Actually doesn't have too many calories. For 2 tablespoons, which is 30 grams, which is about the same serving as any salad dressing, about 30 grams. It has 2 grams of fat, 3 grams of carbs, and 1 gram of protein. And so it's actually really good. Tastes just like ranch, and it's yogurt based. So it's a little bit different, but it is a lot more healthy. But I'm gonna play that example since it's the same serving size, 30 grams. I'm gonna go ahead and translate that into regular fatty ranch, okay? So let's go ahead and unscrew this. Okay, there's that. Bolthouse Farms, remember we're using 30 grams. Okay, that's about a drizzle. I just did about a drizzle of dressing. I'd say that's fair to say that most people would do about that amount on a salad of that size. Okay, maybe more. And see, we did 29 grams, so almost 30 grams there. Now, if I was to use full fat ranch dressing, and I have the nutrition facts pulled up here on my phone, for the same amount, 30 grams, that is 14 grams of fat, 2 carbs, and 1 gram of protein. Okay, so again, you do that 3 or 4 times, or even twice a day, that's 28 grams of fat. That's an extra 240, 250 calories that you're putting on a salad, you know, that you could be using towards something else. So just to put it in perspective, something that's really filling is oatmeal. And so if I'm doing an extra 120 calories of oil, I could be doing an extra half cup of oatmeal with my breakfast in the morning, and that's still only 150 calories. So one of the biggest things is, again, there's so many empty calories in oil and salad dressings, which is why I don't advise using them unless you're going to track them into your day. But even then, I'm leery about that. I don't like saying, okay, do olive oil, do dressing. Okay, now there's other options that you can do fatty things for, but it doesn't involve cooking, and so that kind of is like a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But if you have any questions, you know, comment below on the video, comment on Facebook. You can follow me on my Facebook profile. It's Ben Perez. I post every day. You can also find me on Instagram at Ben Perez Fitness, and then also our business Facebook page is Profectus Athletics, and I'll post on there every once in a while too. So hopefully that gave you some perspective as to how much extra you're doing that doesn't need to be done, and how you're wrecking your diet by using olive oil, butter, and dressings and things like that. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.